Well, I think this is biscuit video attempt number 5, and I've been having problems about the biscuits rising up the way they should, and I don't really understand. I have baking powder that is supposed to never expire, so we will try again. And for this you need flour, you need butter, you need salt, you need baking powder, you need milk and oil, you need something to cut your biscuits with, and some spoons and a pan. Now we're going to do something a little different here because I'm going to make some jumbo biscuits. I have some jumbo sausage patties and I want them to fit on the biscuits. So a little later on you'll get to see how much hog you can fit on a biscuit. So we'll get things going here. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put in our dry ingredients, and we're going to start with about 3, maybe 3.5 cups of flour. So I'm going to loosely just measure this out, and you can see it's over a cup there. And I'm just going to do 3 cups like this, and this will get us started. So get a better grip on this bag. And there is our 3 cups of flour. So we're finished with the flour. A good idea, and I kind of forgot about this, a good idea is in the beginning, go ahead and preheat your oven, and we're going to try cooking them at a little hotter temperature this time, about 250 degrees Celsius. And we're going to get our oven started right now. We want it good and hot when we go to put the biscuits in. And ahead of time, it would be a good idea to butter up your pan, so your biscuits will not stick, and when you actually get them cut out, your pan's all ready for them. So we've buttered our pan now, and we're really done with the butter until the biscuits are finished. So we'll set that aside there. Now we need a tablespoon of baking powder. So I have my tablespoon here. And with the not so good luck that I've had, I don't care if it heaps a little bit, because I've had some real problems with the biscuits coming up. So we're finished with the baking powder. And we do about a teaspoon of salt. I try to keep that a level teaspoon because we don't want them too salty. Okay, there's our teaspoon of salt, our baking powder. Okay, now that would finish our dry ingredients. So put this in here like this, and we shake it up, make sure everything's mixed together very well. Tap the top, and there are our dry ingredients. Now we add our wet ingredients, and that would be about 1.5 cups of milk. Here's about 1 cup. And we're going to eyeball about another 1/2 cup. That looks like about 1/2 cup. And then we add our oil. We need 1/2 cup of oil, and I happen to have 1/2 cup here for that. Okay. Now our wet ingredients are in. And the next thing we do is we stir it up. Now keep in mind we only put 3 heaping cups of flour, so you can see this is coming up pretty wet. Now you only really want to use just enough flour to make your biscuit dough manageable. And by that I mean you should be able to handle it with your hands and not have too much problems with it sticking. As you can see, we still have a little bit of flour left in the bottom. this is coming up pretty good there. See, it's not sticking to the bowl. So far we're doing pretty good about this. It actually looks like it's trying to raise. I don't know why the baking powder wasn't so good before, I guess. But I got some advice from the expert. Hotter baking temperature, and make sure my baking powder is fresh. So the next thing I need to do is clean up my work area a little bit and put a light dusting of flour on the table, and then we'll cut them out and put them in. Okay, the table is now magically clean, and we put us a very light dusting of flour on the table, only to keep the biscuits from sticking. I think this dough is manageable the way it is. If I'm wrong, it's going to stick all over my hands, but I think it will make some fine biscuits. Oh yeah, it's not sticking to me, so this is good. We pat it out to about, I forget how many millimeters I said it was. It's about a ½ inch thick. We pat it out to about a ½ inch thick. And we want a couple jumbo biscuits for the sausage, egg, and cheese biscuits we're going to make later. And you see, I just twisted it, and I'm not supposed to do that. This time I press straight down, and I'm going to jiggle it a little bit. I should be able to get these two guys out. Yeah. There's one. And here's another. Think we ought to make some more big ones, or just go with some smaller? I think I'll make another big one. Make another big one. Break it loose from the other. Now we have 3 big ones. And the rest of them, I'm going to make small. I'll kind of press all this back together again, but not try to bring up the flour that's on the table. I'm just trying to get the dough to stick together again. Because now I'm going to cut a bunch of little ones. One little feller, and another. He jumped right out there and volunteered. Put his buddy in there too. And another. Now see, I'm not going to get all of these in one pan. That's already clear. But it's okay to try to jam them up against each other, because actually that's good. You'll wind up with really soft sides on your biscuits. So you can kind of jam them up against each other, and when they come up, the sides will be broken and they'll be soft and very tender. We may get them all in one pan anyway if I start crowding them. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'll bunch my dough back together again, and this time I'm going to try to shape it a little bit so that we can get an even number of cuts. That may or may not work. Try one here. Try one here. And as I said before, we may not get them all in this pan, but we're going to try. And we got the biscuits in. We've got some extra dough, and I'm just going to bunch that up and probably put it in another pan off camera. So now we're ready to go in the oven. And open the oven up and real quick, because we don't want to let all that nice heat go out. And now we wait about 10 minutes, I think. Okay, it's been about 7 minutes, and as you can see, they're coming up. And what's going to happen is we're going to let them go until they start browning on their own. Now, we're not going to change the setting to the top element or anything. We're just going to let them go until they start browning on their own. We're on the middle rack, so they should get brown on the top and bottom about the same. It won't be too black. Should be okay. Okay, these took a little longer than expected. I suspect low voltage, and look at that, they still did not come up. I do not know what's going on about my baking powder. I seem to have an impasse here. So, go ahead and cover these things up. Try to make them soft. And we'll try to continue the other videos I wanted to do using these. But we're gonna have to get this biscuit problem worked out. I really don't know what's going on about it. They're not coming up. And this time I took every precaution I knew to take. Guess we'll be doing them again.